All right, sorry about that, folks, and we're getting started now. We'll kind of like try to keep it brief and get you quickly started into the startups. So we have here with me Sal and Kushagra, who are on the call, kind of like giving some updates on the Xoogler and talk more about Xoogler demo day and the community. We also had Chris, who could not join us today because it's 3 a.m. his time, but he's also been working behind the scenes to help out in having today possible, make today possible. So with that, we'll quickly start. So again, we'll just do 5 minutes overview and we'll dive right into the startups. We wanted to give you some overview of our Xoogler community. So Xoogler community started in 2015. It was a community to help ex-Google founders be more successful after they leave Google. And today we have 12,000 members worldwide. And we also help run the Angel Syndicate as well as Xoogler Ventures. We'll talk more about the Xoogler Ventures and Syndicate in the next few slides. And why Xoogler? So Xooglers have started amazing companies in the past. Like these are some of the examples of the startups where we have ex-Google founders. And obviously, we've been able to support many of the founders who are coming in since 2015. We have invested in many of them. And through the Xoogler community, we've been able to help provide more value to all these founders and make them more successful. To give you some perspectives, we hosted our previous demo days. The one circled here was 2018, where Solana presented. They were the first times they ever talked about Solana publicly, and we they presented in our Xoogler demo day, which was hosted in person when things were live. Since then, we have hosted several demo days across like Google Mountain View, San Francisco office, London, Zurich, and like all over the globe. In 2016, Pointy presented, and currently Pointy was acquired by Google. They presented in our 2016 demo day, which was our first ever demo day. So Kushagra here helps run the Xoogler Syndicate, which was started in 2016. Along with, he's also been a venture advisor. We have Sandeep Jan here, who helped run the Xoogler Ventures. The syndicate started in 2016. We have made 41 investments, as well as the Xoogler Ventures, which started in late 2020. We have made over 40 investments through that today. Along with that, we run over 300 events every year. Stephen Say was founder of Harmony. He started our TGIFs events around like machine learning and blockchain. OpenSea also presented in hosted one of the sessions where in 2018 when they started, and today they're valued, everyone knows they're valued over $10 billion. And we also present like monthly newsletters where we typically talk about all the events, and that newsletter is read by over 10,000 members. And I'm going to pass it over to Kushagra to talk a little bit about what's coming up next.
Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here. It's always so exciting when you see so many successful Xoogler startups. It's a blast from the past because you meet them at events like these, and then you read about the extraordinary success many of the startups that you have met had, only to be dwarfed by the amazing things that we are yet to do as a community. Really proud to be part of it. As we start thinking about the community, there are a few key aspects. The first is we also have to stay relevant within the times of what's happening around us and try to unlock and usher new opportunities for all of us. If you can go to the next slide, Ankit. When we started thinking about Web3 and blockchain, and we are seeing more and more Xoogler starting Web3 companies, we started thinking about how do we leverage blockchain for our benefit? How do we reward the community? Like there are a lot of volunteers and members and partners through which the community runs. It's not Ankit, Chris, me, or others. Like it's everyone around the globe. How do we enable the community to participate in Web3 projects at the level that they want, and then figure out a way to scale our governance, allow the community to make key decisions, vote on it, and so on and so forth. There are certain benefits that that a smart contract or a tokenization allows, and we are in the process of like unearthing those and discovering them on what's the best way to leverage them for our community. So on the next slide, I'll leave you with what's going to happen. Please know that this is all work in progress. We are an awesome community of startups, like 12,000 members, 60 plus investments made in the last 2 years, 80 plus investments in the last 4 years. Uh, what we are doing, we're trying to figure out in the true Google thinking, how do we 10x the community and scale it further globally, get everyone more involved. What we will do is we'll try to launch our own token. We are going through a series of legal discussion, talking to founders of very successful blockchain companies to understand what's the best way to do it. There are some white papers written. There are a bunch of presentations that are written. We are taking legal advice on how to best set it up in a way where we give more power back to the community, at the same time, like set ourselves for almost a Xoogler 2.0. What we need today, and that is the ask that I'll leave you with before I pass it to Sal, is we need people like who want to collaborate with us on this project. It'll be incredible if the more people get involved in a true decentralized manner and evolve this together. If you're interested, please write to zoog@zoogler.co. And with that, I'm not going to stand in the way of amazing startups and excited to hear presentation. Sal, all yours.
Perfect. Thank you, Kush. I'm pretty sure you'll not have a shortage of respondees to that. It's a super exciting project and one that I'd love to be involved in too. Welcome, everyone. I'm Sal. I'm the London lead for Xoogler Network. I'm also CEO of QT8. We've got a great lineup for you today. We're running 3-minute pitches with 2-minute questions. So feel free to jot some questions down, pop them in, and hopefully we can get those answered for you by each startup. And if not, the time runs out, we'll sort of create a facility to get those questions to the right founders as well. So yeah, we've got a real range of companies, ESG, sustainability, consumer products, hardware, etc. But just wanted to tell you a little bit about the network in London, what we're up to. We're kind of built on 3 main pillars: networking, growth, and community. Networking is all about creating networks for our Xooglers to engage and interact with each other, share learnings, help each other through the torturous process of actually launching and scaling a startup. Growth is all about helping our Xooglers grow, and a key part of that is accessing capital and finance. So hopefully you all came with your purses and are ready to invest. And the last is community. So we realize that Xooglers have a very fortunate career history, and ultimately, what can we do to influence the communities around us and give back and help? So we're always looking for new initiatives, new opportunities to help and do stuff in that regard. So if you've got any ideas, please reach out. However, the biggest thing I want to leave you with today is to let you know we are open for business. We've been closed and doing online events for the last 2 years, and hopefully as the tides begin to change, we're going to be running a host of new events that we want you to get involved in as well. So please follow the community, support us, and hopefully we can do some great stuff together this year. So with that, thank you. We're going to now roll on straight to the pitches. John, are you going to come back up, or should we just go straight into the pitches?
Sure, yeah. Should we talk about Goober, my favorite startup, Goober?
Yes, please.
Just really briefly for everybody who's here, thank you so much for being here. I'm John, co-founder of Stonks, and many of you are going to be familiar with Goober. Goober is a fake startup that we want you to practice on. Here at Stonks, there are 5 really cool ways to engage with the founders that you see pitching today. One is, I want to work here. You've got, I want to be a customer. I'd like to partner. Those 3 options are in the More menu next to the Invest button. You also have Request an Intro, which means I might like to invest, but I think I need to speak with the founder at least one time first. And then finally, Commit. If you'd like to get into this round and almost assure that you receive allocation into the startups round, click Invest. And please practice this on Goober right now, and we'll see how high we can get Goober. Remember that every startup you see after Goober is real. So don't click the buttons unless you mean it. Okay. Cool. On to you, Sal.
Okay. Perfect. So we are going to kick off with our first of 8 startups. So we have Muna coming up first. So David is here.
Hi, everyone.
And he's going to walk us through. So please, David, we'll get your slides up and then we'll let you get to it. Are you able to coordinate the slides, John?
David, you need to share your slide. and then I can throw it up.
So
Share
I'm
at the
uploading
bottom.
my slides. Yeah.
And then, yeah, there it is. Perfect. Cool. Take it away.
All right, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm David. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Muna. And today I want to talk to you about sleep. So sleep is about 1/3 of our lives, and yet 40% of adults worldwide suffer from regular sleep disorders. And today, sleep tech is mostly passive. So sleep devices do a good job of tracking sleep and giving good information about sleep, but not much of the sleep tech out there does a good job of actively improving sleep. And we really want to change that. Our mission is to improve sleep of millions of people using breakthrough technology and AI. The sleep aids market worldwide is set to reach around $100 billion by 2024. And our first approach to this market is to temperature. So temperature is one of the key factors for sleep. Our body needs to cool down by around 1 degree Celsius or 1.8 degree Fahrenheit at night in order for restorative sleep to happen. And yet 41% of adults over 40 years old have issues linked to temperature, so night sweats or hot flashes at night. And so that's why we built the world's first smart cooling pillow pad, which regulates the temperature under your head and neck in a smart way throughout the night. So with different temperatures at different moments of the night and for different users. So the device is composed of a membrane that goes inside the pillowcase, and then a device that goes next to the bed, which regulates the temperature. And there's an app that goes with it. So the product packs 5 sensors that track all parameters of sleep. We shipped in Q4 of 2019, and now we've got customers in over 40 countries. We've done about $1 million in revenue using only one channel, which is our website. And we have collected 2.5 million hours of sleep data and analyzed it. And through that, we've built a unique AI that is able to detect sleep and awakenings at night and also to improve your sleep actively. And we also have proof of sleep improvement. So 87% of our users or 94% of insomniacs among the users have improved their sleep. And on average, we have plus 38 minutes of sleep for key populations among our target. Our business model so far has been D2C with a $399 price point. But now we're introducing a new medical business with the scientific proof that we've collected and that we're publishing at the World Sleep Congress. We believe that we can differentiate ourselves from other sleep techs by tackling the medical market. And the new medical business model that we're introducing will introduce a rental of our product, just like for CPAP machines for sleep apnea, which is a $25 billion market, and additional services such as remote sleep monitoring and also sleep improvement programs designed by doctors. And our ambition is to combine this D2C model and the medical approach as a key differentiator to get out of the noise in the sleep market. There's a lot of claims, but not a lot of substantiation and science-based claims on sleep. We're a team of passionate problem solvers. So I worked at Google before. I worked on large-scale digital projects with Accenture, ADF, and Damien, he's a PhD in neuroscience, and he's worked on research projects with AstraZeneca and Sanofi. We're raising a post-seed round of $3 million at a $9 million valuation. And we already have historical investors who are positioning, and we need more investors to grow our business. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, David. If you could just hang around for some questions. Any from the audience? Okay, well, I've got plenty. Don't worry about that. Such a big problem you're tackling. I know the benefits from sleep and mental health, on longevity, I think the list goes on. We started off the demo day with a hardware company. I know that can make investors shirk sometimes and get them scared. Talk a little about the software that's underpinning some of the hardware and how that's shaping the development.
Yeah. So from day zero, when we've developed our product, we focused on making it smart. So as I said, the product with 5 sensors that measure everything from temperature, humidity, and also movements at night, so that we can collect a maximum amount of data, so we can detect sleep and awakenings at night, but also recommend a smart temperature profile for each user. So we've developed over the past 2 years that we've shipped our products, regular updates of the app. So we have an iOS and Android app, and of the firmware. So we can all update that remotely. And we've built unique machine learning algorithms that are able to, just with the movements of the head, detect if you're asleep or awake and compute a sleep score at night. And also a smart recommendation algorithm to recommend the right temperature profile, so the right temperature settings at each moment of the night for each user, depending on the typology of users that we have.
Cool, brilliant, thanks. And that's super interesting. I can just picture all the data points right there. So thank you for that. And thanks for the great pitch. Thanks.
Thanks, Sal. Thanks, everyone.
No problem. Okay, next up, rolling straight on, we have Digisalix. You'll be really interested in this one. Take it away, Kalle.
Thanks, Sal. So hi, my name is Kalle Raita. I'm a software industry jack of all trades. I've done anything from C programming to selling a company to Google. Together with Tomi Peltola, machine learning scientist, a seasoned one, and Tommi Pesu, London Imperial College, PhD on algorithmic design. We've created a company called Digisalix, and our mission is to teach computers to read better. So when computers process information, they need to have really strict structure for data and meaning for every piece of data and strict format, whereas humans can easily infer meanings and connect the dots, so to speak. This leads into situations where humans have to spell out things to computers. This transcription or data entry is rarely adding any real value in the process. For example, in the US, there are 150,000 data entry clerks that do nothing but enter data into computers. Their salaries run in $4 billion annually. And nurses, they spend roughly 20% of their time typing in notes about the patients. Now, this is becoming a bottleneck for modern business automation, because many of the processes to be automated actually involve reading documents. And companies ranging from startups to cloud giants are actually working on the problem. But we think that we have a better solution. We have a solution where we combine low data machine learning with structure. And this allows us to serve all use cases with high accuracy and performance, even the ones with low data available. We are currently piloting this with a commercial bank, and we have other pilots building up in the pipeline. So my name is Kalle. I'm coming from Digisalix, the company that teaches computers to read, and we're looking for 2 million initial seed round to properly enter market at this point. Thank you.
Perfect. I'm really not sure which is a better opening. We're teaching computers how to read, or I sold my company to Google. It's quite a tick list you've got there, but super interesting. I know you talked a little bit about competitors trying to sort of solve this issue, but in a different way, a little bit more of a convoluted way. Do you want to touch on that, keeping it super high level for a partnership person like me, but just explain the nuances between.
So the AI and machine learning, they're all the rave now. And generally, the idea is to take millions of documents and use that to learn mappings from documents to the structured data that you want. We believe that that's really laborsome in the sense that you have to actually clean the data really well to do that. So what we are doing, we are adding more structure. We are manually defining the information structure and leveraging that to get more accurate results and to also utilize external data to basically fix errors after the initial optical character recognition.
Cool, perfect. I definitely got that. So thank you. Yeah, you definitely made it accessible. And yeah, super cool. I can't
Thanks.
yeah, can't wait to see where it goes. Yeah, thank you for that, Callie.
Thanks, Al.
Cool. Again, keeping the pace, making up for the last time we sort of created at the beginning. So hopefully we'll be right on track. An area really close to my heart, traveling. So solo traveler, if you are here, please come up.
Hey, Sal, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Callender, and I'm the founder and CEO of Solo Traveler. Imagine you just landed in Cologne, Germany for your first time. It's dark, cold, damp. The streets are empty. You're standing outside your hotel, phone in hand, trying to sort out dinner. It's 9 p.m. on a Monday. You're jet-lagged, hungry, alone. And you feel so far away from the strong, confident, independent woman that you envision yourself to be. You feel like a failure. Now, let's flip that script around. Imagine you land in Cologne. It's still dark and it's still damp. But you pop up in a message from your friend Jessie. Hey, I know Cologne can have a weird vibe, especially midweek. I'd suggest staying in the Belgian Quarter. There's more going on. Funky restaurants, speakeasies. I feel totally comfortable walking around by myself at night. Oh, and check out Tapeo & Co. for dinner. There's always a fun crowd, even on a Monday. What a difference, right? Whether your trip's for business, backpacking, or just taking a weekend away for yourself, Solo Traveler has you covered. And we're not just building an online tech platform. We're building a connected network of strong, confident, amazing women around the globe. These women share advice, recommendations, insider tips, things like safety, getting around, restaurants with bar seating, and we layer in diverse perspectives because we recognize that different women can experience the same place differently. It's like having your best friend's sister in whatever city you land in. I'm an ex-Google product and program manager. I launched Google Pay, led program management for cloud UX across EMEA, and worked with google.org. My strengths are in execution and focusing on the user. When it comes to travel, I am the user. I've traveled to more than 40 countries, most recently up the coast of Eastern Greenland on a sailboat. Now, let's talk about the market. Travel was a $9 trillion market pre-pandemic. 18% of that was solo travel. And it gets more interesting. If you look at the data on millennial women who are poised to dominate the travel industry post-pandemic, 60% have expressed an interest in traveling alone. That's more than 500 million women, not counting Gen Z or boomers. The problem we're solving spans both business and leisure travel. And while our focus is on B2C right now, that'll shift as travel rebounds. And we're going to be unlocking massive market opportunities. I've assembled a best-in-class team who have held director-level roles at major travel brands, including Travel + Leisure, Airbnb, Afar, Voters, and Lonely Planet. We've launched our paid beta to our first 50 users just 3 months ago. And we're currently scaling from 5 destinations to 50 in the next 5 months. I'm planning to raise a seed round in Q2. If you're excited about empowering 500 million women to explore the world and interested in being considered for a round, let's chat. Thank you.
Very, very cool. I've yet to make it to Cologne, so at least I know where to head to now. Amazing. I had a role every 2 weeks. I was out of the country. It was really, really interesting. But what I found was really the blend, because I used to spend the weekend actually trying to do a little bit of my own trip on sort of the company's generosity, and really that blend between business and consumer was quite interesting to me. I wondered, like, what are the tools that you've got in your roadmap? How are you trying to address both markets in a sort of a seamless way?
Sal, you hit on the gateway drug to solo travel. Business travel does lead to people taking their own consumer trips. And it's really interesting. That was actually my experience too, right? Because you're in a city, you are by yourself, although you have some structured itinerary. So it's somewhat a safer experience. And all you have to do is push that train ticket back to the evening instead of the morning, and you have an afternoon to yourself. Or add on one extra night and you only have to pay for one night's hotel and you can still explore on your own. It's a really interesting market when business and leisure come together. And you're going to see even more of that with companies going more fully remote, and you have kind of the digital nomad movement picking up. A lot of our customers and a lot of people who have expressed interest in signing up once we do our full launch are people who travel both for business and for leisure, because quite honestly, there's not as much of a distinction as there was a few years ago even.
That's amazing. Well, yeah, it sounds like an amazing product. And if you ever do a partnership with Avios, make sure you swing some points my way. Thank you. And yeah, great pitch.
Thanks.
Cool. So halfway ready. And yeah, they've all been good, but that is by no means that they're going to get any worse. In fact, they're going to get just as good, just as interesting, and just as diverse in their industries that they're tackling and problems they're tackling. So next up we have Canveo. Rob, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Take it away.
Okay, thank you, Sal. Hi, everyone. I'm Rob. I'm a co-founder at Canveo. So after travel, I'm going to talk to you about another one of your favorite subjects, which must be legal contracts. So a recent study from EY showed that 99% of all companies struggle with contracts and want to reduce contracting costs. Meanwhile, only 1% of those actually believe they have the data and technology to do so. So why is there such a big gap between what companies need versus what's currently available? So we believe it's because we've been treating contracts the same we've been doing for 20 years now. We're essentially treating contracts as files. So you'll all be familiar with this painful process of Microsoft Word files going back and forth over email, internal discussions, external discussions, different versions, red lines, some conversion into a PDF file that has to be uploaded in a signing provider and then eventually gets archived. So we think this process is incredibly inefficient and incredibly outdated. And that's why we built Canveo. So Canveo is what we call the first e-contracting platform. So we're no longer treating a contract as a file, we're treating a contract as a digital collection of clauses and parameters. And with that, we're able to automate the end-to-end contracting lifecycle. So imagine a dedicated web platform where you can easily generate your contracts, parameterize them, then negotiate on platform with your counterparties, followed by an integrated signing workflow, as well as the storage of the contract in a digital format. That also means that the analytics and the data reporting on your contracts is on a content level instead of just on the file level. So our customers really love e-contracts. We've noticed there's a lot of interest in our solution. We have a strong interest from the enterprise as well. We participated in the Kickstart Open Innovation Platform, and since then have been able to announce proof of concepts with Swisscom, which is a leading telco provider, as well as PostFinance, which is one of the leading retail banks in Switzerland. So in terms of the team, David, who's in the audience as well, he's a lawyer by background. He used to head legal at Box. Myself, I was leading source to pay at Google in the Asia Pacific region. And before that, I was a VP of tech at ING. So now we are kickstarting our first fundraise. We've been bootstrapped so far. And if you're interested to invest, we would love to get in touch. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Super cool, Rob. Super cool. Thank you. Sorry, I thought it froze for a moment there, but perfect. No, that was a great pitch. As you going through, I was just thinking about all the different partnerships that actually you can leverage. You know, like actually scaling, hiring a bunch of salespeople or spending a bunch of money in Google Ads is a real drag for a lot of companies. But you've got this really central product that sort of every sort of industry needs to plug and feed into. How are you sort of thinking about growth strategies, partnerships? How's all that going for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So the market, I mean, is huge because, yeah, as the statistic I mentioned, 99% of all companies struggle with contracts. So essentially, it's from your freelancer all the way up to the largest company. So what we are currently targeting is high growth tech companies that do a lot of contracts, that basically also struggle a lot with it and need scalable processes, but are also open to a new innovative platform. Because you can imagine that there is some hesitancy for some legal people to jump onto a new platform, and that's why we're starting there. And then we're going to work our way upwards into the enterprise.
Cool. Exciting, and yeah, if you can grab all the market, definitely run at bottleneck speed to make sure you do. Good luck. Great pitch.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you. Cool. So now we have a fashion company. Got a very plain t-shirt on today, but usually I'm a little bit more spruced up. So hopefully I'm yeah, blown away by this one. So minimal fashion, do you want to head up? We've got Luke here, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Al. So I am Luke, one of the co-founders.
Luke, your headphones aren't working. Do you want to maybe take them off? Yeah, you can.
You're going to want to try your computer microphone.
You're going to want to try your...
Oh, can you hear me?
There we go.
I do apologize. That's my fault. I was warned about that. Anyway, I'll start again. So I'm Luke, one of the co-founders at Minimal. We are an AI-powered one-stop shop for sustainable fashion. So my background is in fashion e-commerce, working for some of the worst offenders in fast fashion, such as Arcadia and River Island. And I've worked in various product roles, working on data analytics, personalization, and features that, while commercially successful, were causing a lot of damage to people and planet, which is a very well publicized issue at the moment. So I teamed up with Maria, who is our ex-Googler, and we have essentially built a platform designed to elevate sustainable fashion brands with genuine sustainability credentials and motives into the mainstream. So we together have built a team of like-minded individuals. Sorry, guys. I do apologize. Oh, I thought you were talking to me there, that when you said you couldn't see my slides. Okay. Okay, so looking at the market, the current ethical fashion market is 8.25 billion worldwide, roughly, and growing 10% year on year. And through our own market research, we have found that 90% of fashion customers are trying to shop more sustainably, but don't feel confident finding things they actually like or trusting the sustainability data that they're seeing. So we have created our MVP, which we launched in November, bootstrapped MVP, which essentially has the product has two main strands. So first of all, for each product on the site, you will see empirical data points related to the shipping emissions or animal welfare, whether it's vegan or not, and certifications around fair pay for garment producers. And then the other side of it, a core problem in the market is also very high return rates. So at River Island and Arcadia, we'd often see return rates get above 40%, which is obviously unsustainable from a climate perspective, and also commercially has a big impact. And then also solving the problem of people not feeling that they can find products quickly that they actually like, that with genuine sustainability credentials. So that's a recommendations engine. We've also built an API integrator so that we can seamlessly integrate brands in a matter of minutes and scale the company and increase the catalog of products on the site. So we launched the MVP in November last year, so we've only been live for a couple of months. 1.1 thousand monthly active users at the moment, and we're getting our first organic orders at an average order value of £95. We've got 100% positive verified post-order reviews on Trustpilot. And yeah, looking into the future, I won't go too deep into this, but there's lots of opportunities in other sectors and other use cases for this technology. We are raising a pre-seed round of £150,000 to help us further reduce the impact of the fashion industry on people and planet. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Luke. Good save after the first audio, but sorry that we sort of confused you halfway through as well.
No,
terrible.
But
you remained composed, so that's the main thing. Absolutely amazing. Cool, great. Was there any questions from the group? No. Well, I definitely have one for you. What's been the sort of feedback since launch from the partners that you're working with, and to what extent are they sort of taking the product development in the new direction?
So it's been really good. I think so. We developed our own data system, which to try and make it easy to compare one product with the other. So we've had a lot of good feedback on that, a lot of good feedback on the UX of the site. But in terms of the direction of the product, we are working with a number of potential scenarios about third-party verification for our sustainability data, just to further improve that confidence in the transparency for the product. So we're talking to a number of the brands and kind of collaborating on how we do that. And we've also created a Slack community with all of the brands so that we can kind of share, because we're a marketplace, they're brands. There's lots of information that we can share in order to further our product development, their garment production, and share data with them. People in this sector are looking for this type of product. Have you thought about producing something like this? So the data we get, they can use to inform their product development.
That's amazing. It's, yeah, great that you've got such traction in such a short amount of time as well. So congrats on that. And thank you very much.
Al. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Next up, this is a EMEA event, and it's only right that we've got all the continents covered and represented. And the next presenter definitely has done that, lived pretty much everywhere you can imagine, based in Switzerland, but solving a problem for the continent of Africa. So please, Adair and Kuda, please head on up.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Sal. So greetings everyone. My name is Kuda, and today I'd like to introduce you to Adair. So at Adair, our mission is to try to activate about 1 million talented African software developers who are currently underrepresented and certainly underutilized within the global talent ecosystem. Now, we're working towards this mission by trying to address two problems simultaneously. The first is, as Sal said, I'm based in Switzerland, and one of the big problems here in DACH is what we call the war for talent. And this indeed is true of many places around the world, which is most people working in technology find it difficult to find a software developer when they need it for the project that they need it, that matches their, has the right skills, fits their team, is in a convenient time zone, and any number of other criteria. And once you do find them, do they stick around for the duration of the project that you have? The second problem that we wish to solve is that in Africa, there are innumerable of very talented, fantastic software developers who right now are ready, capable, and willing to work, except they don't have access to market. Indeed, the talent market has developed and grown leaps and bounds in the last 10 years, and there are fantastic developers in places like Namibia and Zimbabwe and Ghana, and perhaps even the more recognizable places like South Africa and Kenya and more. And it's this market development over the last 10 years that we wish to exploit. Now, myself and Andreas, we are the co-founders of Adair. I have lived in and or worked in Africa for 16 years, which are many of our target launch countries, and been in the US and the EU for 20. Andreas and I have known each other since our time at Google, and then we reconnected in our time in Switzerland, which is where we founded Adair, and which is where Niels joined the party about 3 years ago. So how do we do so? We have 3 pillars to reach the 1 million developers. And the first is via talent marketplace targeted at African developers. And this follows a freelancing model, very much like a lot of the other talent marketplaces that are there. But right now, African developers get drowned out. And I'm rather sure that there are quite a few people on this call who, as you're searching for developers on some of these platforms, you see loads of developers from other fantastic countries, also fantastic developers. And right at the bottom, you might see a developer from, say, Kenya or South Africa or something like that, whose rates are incredibly low. And you wonder to yourself, is this person capable? And why are their rates so cheap? And we believe that by having a platform that is focused on African developers, we are able to remove that noise. We can provide that exposure, we can provide the validation, and get them the credibility necessary for them to change that decision point. The second part is direct services, which we are calling ethical software outsourcing. And this is a classic software outsourcing model, except all of our developers come from Africa. And this is how we immediately generate revenue and try to start building a reputation and case studies from the country in which we launch here in Switzerland and Germany. The last is what we're calling our impact twin. So this is adair.org, which will be grant funded and engage more deeply on things like the impact goals, like increasing gender diversity in tech, supporting education at pre-university level, and more. We've been in planning for the last year, since 2021. We just launched in 2022. We now have 2 clients who signed, and we've reached a monthly recurring revenue of 10,000. Our target is to reach 10,000 developers, 50 staff developers in 2022, and a monthly recurring of 200,000 by the end of 2022. And for this, we're seeking 500,000 in equity pre-seed funding. So we're looking to start some relationships with interested investors like yourselves on this call, and very interested if anyone wants to connect and discuss. Thanks, Sal.
Great. Thank you. Getting a bit of an echo. Sorry. Kuda, so super close to my heart, Nigerian myself, have a team out in Lagos. I see literally just how incredible some of these people are, and you're right, the access problem is a big one. How do you look about changing the narrative and sort of highlighting, one, the region and the quality in depth it has, but also the capabilities that they have in terms of executing these projects?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the key problems is the consideration problem. So there are lots of projects that are available. It's just simply there needs to be an awareness and a consideration that, oh, they are fantastic developers in Africa and they're completely capable to do the job. So to get to that consideration and being on the table, and that's partly why Andres and myself are based in Switzerland and in Germany, which is we're able to have those conversations, we're able to put the right developers on the table, making sure they get a fair shot. And then by building that sense of credibility and by delivering projects, then we start to build awareness that this is a credible option, and then more developers can start to get involved.
Amazing. Well, best of luck, and definitely up for a trip out to Switzerland, so keep me in mind.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we've got 2 super exciting startups left to go. I'm going to bring up Vlinda. So, Martin, you ready?
Hello. Yes, I am. All right. Hello, everyone. Do you hear me? Sal, am I coming through?
We can. You're coming through perfectly.
All right, great. Hello, everybody. So my name is Martin, and I am a part of the Blinder team. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I have a background from Techstars, from Google, from Intersection Ventures, Luna, and Red Bull. And my co-founder, who's not here today, he's called Sergey. He is an incredible entrepreneur as well, have a PhD in financial mathematics. And he sold the very first tokenized carbon credit ever, okay? That is actually really, really exciting. And let's talk a little bit about that. So for a minute, I actually asked if I could present to you without this slide, okay? Because I think it's a bit hard to tell a story with this slide. Oh, there you go. I think it's a bit hard to tell a story with a slide like that. And it's a little bit hard to pitch also when I don't see you. But I know I saw a couple of names out there. Anyways, I want to start out by a question. And this is a question for all of you. You're all people at, let's say, escape velocity. And you're taken care of. And now you're looking like how you can expand in the world. My question for you is, what kind of future do you want to live in? What kind of future do you want to invest in? And that's what I really want you to think about now, as it is that we're going through this next little conversation here. So by the end of this little pitch, I want to leave you with three things. So first of all, I want to leave you with the momentum that is behind the climate actions that we're taking as a global community towards the 2050 goal of being carbon net zero. The second thing I want to leave you with is carbon credits. How carbon credits is the most exciting asset class ever. And the last thing I want to leave you with is whether or not we're the right team to actually go out and contribute and really realize what it is that we set out to do. So I'll leave you to be the judge of that. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the, actually first, let me start with a little story, and then we'll talk about these three things here that I want to leave you with. So you know, the entire atmosphere on Earth is mixed in a day. And the air that you breathe today, wherever you are, this is an EMEA pitch event, but so you may be kind of all over Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Wherever we're breathing here, you know, the air is breathed in San Francisco tomorrow, in Tokyo, the Himalayas. We're all connected, and we all share planet Earth, our home. And we're making anyone a protector of planet Earth. That's what we're up to at Blender. We're up to creating a happy and flourishing home for every single human being. No one left behind. And we're creating a planet where every child can grow up, breathe fresh air, and really discover the diversity and wonders of life and planet. Now, we can put up the slides now. Thank you. Now, this is why we started Blender, and I want to talk to you about the first thing here, about the momentum behind carbon net zero in 2050. Okay, so climate change is real, and if you're not, then you can kind of like, yeah, well, climate change is real. Let's assume that, and as legislators, EU signed a law in 2021 that's legally binding for every European country to be carbon net zero by 2050. That means every single country in Europe is going to have their sort of country level accounting for climate credits or for their climate emissions being totally neutralized. Every single country, every single company in that country, every single resident in that country. That is EU. China, they pledged for 2060, and India pledged for 2070. This is a must-win battle, and we're going to win it. Now, companies. Oh, Sal, I see you popping up here again.
Yeah. I'll just leave you 20 seconds to finish off, Martin.
All right. Okay, that's gonna be hard. Well, okay. So I want to leave you with, let's see. So that's the momentum that's behind. Now, what we're doing as Blender is that we're providing liquidity to that market. We're providing instruments for the private investors to participate, to earn return on their investment, and to really be a part of that solution that's gonna ignite the entire market and solution for us as a species to solve climate change. So that's the last thing I want to say then. Thanks, Sal.
Brilliant. Thank you, Martin. Super impassionate speech. Really got me going, thinking about how I can make an impact. I would say the product is amazing. Head over to blenderclimate.com to see a little bit more about it. And reach out to Martin for a little bit more information. Cool. Thanks, Martin. Last up, we have Henri with Deal Real. I think everyone's going to love this one, especially if we're coming up to Valentine's Day. So, take it away, Martin.
Hi, Sal. Thanks so much for the intro. I couldn't be more on topic with Netflix broadcasting the Tinder Swindler and all the traction that's getting. My name is Henri. I was part of Google in 2006, where I was advising Fortune 500 on their growth strategy. Then I moved to the client, and I was in charge of growth at Johnson & Johnson and at HSBC. And I'm also a coder. I go to coding boot camps very often and try and upscale my skills. And during a coding boot camp, I met Kate, who was on dating apps in London, and she was having a real hard time. The dating world is extremely rough, and the commoditizing that's going on dating apps is very painful. It's a very big problem, but dating apps are doing a really poor job at solving it. So she felt threatened for her security with men behaving poorly online, but also when meeting. The lying on those platforms is just terrible. It's very difficult because it's a marketplace. People are commoditized, and so men tend to lie a lot to try and get out of the and get some traction. But it's got obviously huge consequences on mental health for everyone. And then privacy, there's absolutely no privacy. You are sharing your profile, you're sharing your pictures that are geolocated, especially at your work, and you don't know who's watching this. And she was very emotional about it, and I really tried to help her and introduce her to some of my friends that were single that would really enjoy such a bright woman. And I felt there was still a lot of friction, and this introduction process was pretty difficult for me. Bringing up the conversation and setting things up. And so I thought, okay, there must be an app doing this. And I looked at the App Store, and I searched across the internet, and there's absolutely no apps doing this. And that's how the idea of Derail came in. I've since obviously researched the stats, done tons of interviews, and it's something I've become very passionate about. I've been in health tech and fintech, but actually dating is more important. Dating has trickling effect on everything we do. It's very important for your finance and your health. So Derail works by connecting to your address book, and you nominate your matchmakers, you matchmake your friends, and you vouch for your friends. Think about LinkedIn vouch. And the only way you can send a message on LinkedIn, on Derail, is if you've been introduced by someone, you've been matchmaked by a friend, a mutual friend, or if you've been double vouched, you get 2 vouchers from the person you want to message. You can vouch for people and introduce people that are on Derail. You can also vouch and introduce people that are not on Derail but in your address book. Any person who is introduced to Derail gets a 3 months premium, and any person who introduces 2 people to the platform gets a 3 months premium, encouraging the virality. We're aligning everyone's interest: the user's interest, the person receiving the invite, and the company's interest. This was directly inspired from Revolut and Monzo's growth and TransferWise growth. I was at HSBC in charge of acquisitions, trying to understand how we could counter this. Revolut, Monzo, TransferWise took millions of customers every year. Monzo is at 5 million customers in 3 years growth. Revolut is at 8 million customers in the same time. So it's really reproducing that mechanism to dating to benefit everyone. The market is crowded, but the market is absolutely not solving the problem. They have no unique selling proposition. And I've seen competitive markets such as retail banking being taken over by an incumbent that just is 10 times better, has a very clear growth strategy, using rewarded referrals and access to contact books. We are in beta in both app stores, and we will be live before the summer. We have SEIS that's expiring on March 12th, and we are looking to raise to be ready for launch and ready for media when we launch. Onboard our CTO and make sure we can take on any cost of hyper growth that we're planning for. Sal, I see you online. That means that you have questions, and I have to move on.
Indeed, yeah. No, and you look like you finished anyway, so perfect. Good timing for both. Yeah, I completely understand how hard it is to meet people, just not least with the whole COVID situation. And I've always felt that sort of referrals from people that you know is sort of like the go-to method, but it's quite a lumbersome process, right? You've got to make the introductions, you've got to, be really hanging around. Did you go on the date? How was it? Oh, was it bad? Was it good? So I really see the benefit of opening this tool up and making it really automatic and seamless. How far do you think the referral will go as a model? Will you then use, let's say, companies that you've been part of as referral mechanisms? Will you give credit to other areas? For instance, let's say you landed up in a town and you don't know anyone there. Like, are there other metrics that you'll use to sort of address that?
So we have obviously a premium subscription, and the premium subscription gives more reach to men, usually who want more reach, and it enables you to be matchmake to friends of friends. And we offer more confidentiality for women, where they can be the first people to see the introduction, the matchmake. So my answer is like we have to be super safe, and our angle is safety, good behavior, and privacy, and there'll be no compromise on this. It's a passion from inside. It's the real value of the app. So if we can find a way to guarantee that, yes, we'd probably look into it and grow that way. However, I think the premium subscription for men would be a good way to reach other people. And as everyone's heard, we're all networked and we all have a certain amount of contacts that makes us less of a commodity on a dating app.
That's super interesting. And I saw a quote the other day. It said that the cost of being a prick on the internet has fallen to zero. So it's great you're taking security seriously and actually moving that cost back up and actually making sure that people behave how they should do. So yeah, congratulations. Can't wait to see it. Yeah. Cool. That's everything we had for you. We've gone through a little bit about the Xoogler community. We've talked about the events we're going to be hosting soon that we'd love for you all to come to. Talked a little bit about the DAO and other sort of exciting things that are going on in the blockchain that we hope you can get involved in. Just a recap of the startups. We've had Moona helping you sleep better through temperature control. We had Digitalix teaching you, teaching computers rather, how to read. So that's going to be an interesting one. A Solo Traveler, empowering women to travel safely through business and personal travel. Canveo, really taking contractual documents to the next level. Minimal Fashion, helping you become way more sustainable in the choices you make regarding clothing initially, and you know where God knows where the future takes them. So many other applications that could be amazing for that. We got Adair empowering 1 million developers in Africa, which is unbelievable. Anything I can do to help on that mission, please let me know. Like all of them, of course. Linda helping climate change, really helping businesses maximize carbon credits and other technologies. And then we've got Deal Real, really changing the game on feeling secure, making correct matches, and finding love online, which I guess it's all about love, love and peace. So we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope that you can interact, ask questions, connect with the startups, put some money in the purse, of course. And yeah, we'll hope to see you soon and catch you in the next one. Thank you.